50+1. That's what it takes to win. You said something earlier, Richard. You said you have to win first, then you change. But if you win, why would you want to change? But we have to win first as Republicans. I believe the Republican Party is the party of the tent, of the big tent. It's never been the Democrat Party. They're the party of victimhood. If you are under the umbrella of victimhood, you are okay in the progressive left, especially in the progressive left today. But the Republicans, the conservative party, we have always been the party of the big tent. We'll take people, no matter your color, even your sexuality, no matter your belief system. If you want to believe in abortion, go ahead. That's every right. If I want to say I'm against abortion, I should have that right. We should be able to have that conversation and agree to disagree. We don't do that here in Illinois because what we don't understand, we're fighting a personality and it becomes evil, and it's about the personality and not the policy. We have to get back. You said about how do we come to agreement? Find the policy. Find the policy. And how do we come out to say, you know what? We disagree, but let's fight to win, to take back this state, because Illinois needs fighters. If we are to ever to become back where we were fifth in the nation in almost every economical, statistical category, we won't get back there if we continue to fight and beat up on each other.
I got two quick questions for all of you.
Well, I just
now.
Can I have?
Oh, go ahead.
No, on that, I just if I'm thinking about it, there's really no old elephants, respected old elephants in the party. If that makes any sense. So to me, whatever the
He's
but
an
I
old
what
elephant.
no,
Richard's
just
an old elephant.
well, okay. But as far as my thoughts,
Yeah.
like from a company standpoint, usually the leaders would grab the people that aren't getting along,
Yeah.
and then you get them in the back. You get them to sit down together,
Yeah.
and you hash it out. And if you got to cuss and piss, get upset with each other, and whether you're not necessarily swinging fists, but you should be able to scream at each other.
Right.
And but at the end of the day, get up and walk out of the room and shake hands, and at least have some respect. Hopefully you get to an agreement,
Right.
and move forward. And I don't think there's within the party. My aspirations would be is to grab those people that aren't getting along.
So
get them in.
so you would go and get the Mark Vargases, the Val Ojedas, the people who are railing against the Republicans. And some, you got to admit though, in some parts they have a legit beef in some of the issues that they're talking about.
For sure.
How? What would be your message to them, and yours as well too, Rich?
Mine would be
Yeah.
if you have it, then whatever it is, I would want to get them in a room and let's hash it out. But then also, what is the bigger picture? Because you can beef about everything all day long.
Right.
If you don't, what are we collectively trying to get done?
But
if we don't have a vision of what we're doing, to me, if it's are we trying to unite and win elections? Probably a third of or 60% of the precinct committeemen in the state, we don't even have them. As
Right.
far as what's the accountability for our county? Like if we're looking from a state party, there's no measures as far as to hold any political apparatus, whether it's a county party. That, are they winning? Are they doing good or bad? Or there should be some measurement of that of all leadership.
Right.
What are the measures? Are we moving that agenda forward? And if it's off on a side, if it's somebody's side objective to win their own personal election or whatever the case, are their motives clean and clear relative to what the party's doing? And then as a party, we also have we do have what we stand for. And we should, if we don't agree with that, then we should have the leaders coming together and hashing that out. If it needs to be adjusted, we should be adjusting it. If our messaging isn't there, then we should try. Our messaging isn't very good.
But here's the
wait.
Oh,
Go ahead.
yeah.
I mean, look, I think I consider myself a pragmatist. Is how I think about it. Which is, if I want to go through that door, I recognize that I could kind of go break through that window, have a dramatic effect. I can walk out the door. I can walk that way. I can walk out the door and go that way. As I say, there's a lot of ways around the barn. All I want to do is get to the other side of the barn. And some days maybe it's going to be better to go left than right. Sometimes it's better to go right. Sometimes, just depending on the circumstances. I don't care. I just want to get through the door. And so that's sort of my attitude about it. And people have their issues, and if it means getting us together, then I'll embrace your issue if that means I can get to 50.
Which you've done. I've seen you do. With Val Ojeda, I mean, there was beef between you and Val. You sat down and talked with him, and now look at you guys now.
Yeah,
You
looking
know.
at and I actually think that when you listen, as you were saying, it expands your perspective. You know, where I'm sitting here, I'm thinking, well, the best way to get there is going to be that way. And someone says, no, just come around here. So listening to other people is a really important quality in order to build coalitions.
But do we listen?
Well, too many people are if you start with the belief, you have to start with the absolute unshakable belief, which is the worst Republican is better than the best Democrat.
I agree.
And if you believe that, you'll find a way to get it done.
Okay. I'm glad you said about listening. Okay. How do we message this? Everybody in this room right now, Republicans, and we believe in a colorblind society. Now, you have the other side that believes in identity politics. I don't care if you see it on commercials, movies, whatever you see on TV, and whatever their messaging is on the left, it's all about identity and what John said earlier, victimhood. How do you compromise with somebody like that? How do you try to win somebody like that over? You tell me, how do you message that?
So I don't compromise with them because I'm trying to beat them. I mean, I'm coalescing in order to achieve a goal. And what I do is I break down where they are and where they're coming from. And the people that are identitarians, they're premised on anger. Okay, they're trying to stoke anger. You cannot build a solid society with, peace and tranquility, and we're ultimately for the tranquility of our country, on anger. Our country is the first country that was ever built on the idea of love. And this is sort of what's manifest when it says we're created equal. In what way are we equal? We're not equal in any respect, but we're equal in the sense in the commandment from God that God is above, and then you're commanded in the second great commandment to love your neighbor like yourself. Love in that sense, brotherly love, is an equalizer. It puts us in the same level. So when Jefferson wrote those words, created equal, that incorporates both elements of the great commandments. Created by God, equal, which means that I'm only equal in the sense that I'm commanded to love you. So this country, that's what makes this country so amazing. It is the first nation on earth, the first culture that was built on the idea of equality, equalizing love. Every
Not
other
equity.
culture, not equity. Equity is anger, has unbounds. There's no bounds to that. Where when you're basing it on the retroactivity of loving thy neighbor, that's the bound. The rule is good if it's something that we both should respect.
All right, we got about a minute to go.
Sorry.
But
Don't
when
wanna
you,
get too
I wish
biblical,
we
right?
had a little bit more time. But do you understand the anger of the Republican Party today? When you look at how the Republican Party is treated, specifically Donald Trump, let's speak to him, how he's been treated compared to Joe Biden. Everything that they said Donald Trump would be, Joe Biden is.
Yeah.
And do you understand the spying on his campaign? All of these things, do you understand the anger? And I don't want that anger bottled up. I want it focused.
Yeah. I mean, we want to use it to mobilize, go out and knock doors, and get people to go out and vote. I mean, 100%. But that's the productive use of anger. Going after other people is not on your own team, yelling at people on your team. You don't do that in the locker room, right?
Yeah.
If you're trying to win a game,
Oh, the
you
coach
come
gonna
in-
put you in your place.
Right. And,
But do we have a coach?
well, we have a coach who loves to stir the pot, and I think that's sort of his genius. I mean, he does bring out a lot in people, and he lives with controversy. We're in a world where the media is lined up against us, and he's able to play this. He's able to play them in a way that they amplify his message all the time, and his message is usually something that really resonates with ordinary Americans.
That's true. Wow.
Man, I wish I had time for my
Yeah.
retort to
No.
what he was saying to me.
We don't. I got a couple of questions when we come back, and then we'll take the calls. You're listening to Black and White Radio on AM 560. Didn't think about this. Top 3 things you do as the next national committeeman. We'll be right back.